The Israeli government is expecting a ruling from the International Court of Justice today, and it could order them to stop their military operation and pull out of Gaza. Israel remains determined that nothing will interfere with their plans to eliminate Hamas.
Meanwhile, more tragic news on the hostages. The IDF has discovered 3 more bodies. Chris Mitchell brings us the story from Jerusalem.
Before the court issues its ruling, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant declared the Rafah operation will intensify.
We are strengthening our effort in Rafah. This operation will increase.
Since Israel is no signatory of the court, it has no jurisdiction over the Jewish state. But the ruling may increase international pressure on its military operations against Hamas. The petition by South Africa alleges Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. While the Israeli Defense Forces are still pushing ahead in Rafah, other European nations, including Belgium, are considering following the lead of Norway, Spain, and Ireland in recognizing a Palestinian state. Israeli government spokesman Avi Hyman asked why such a state should be recognized now, after October 7th.
They continue with their policy of pay for slay. They continue to educate their children to hate. They still haven't held an election in 19 years. But it's worse than that. Fatah terrorists proudly participated in the October 7th massacre.
Today, the IDF announced they've recovered 3 more bodies of hostages. The military says they were murdered by Hamas on October 7th and taken into Gaza. And more evidence of Hamas atrocities are coming to light. After a report by the London Daily Mail, the IDF released the interrogation of a father and son who participated in the October 7th massacre. The son described a family orgy of rape and murder on a woman about 30 years old.
بعدين احنا طلعنا
هي عايشه
لا هو قتلها هو قال لي بعد ما طلعنا احنا قال لي قتلناها.
It's because of these kind of atrocities that Israel says Hamas must be destroyed. But Hamas is not the only enemy Israel is facing. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu toured northern Israel, in the area under nearly daily attack from Hezbollah since day 1 after October 7th. Nearly 100,000 Israelis remain away from their homes because of the fighting.
We have detailed, important, even surprising plans, but I do not share these plans with the enemy. These plans are designed to do 2 things. First, restore security to the north, and second, return the residents safely to their homes.
At the Israeli embassy in Washington Thursday night, House Speaker Mike Johnson addressed the 76th anniversary of the founding of the State of Israel. He announced Netanyahu will soon address a joint session of Congress. At the event, the embassy set aside chairs for each of the hostages kidnapped on October 7th. And Johnson promised the darkness of that day will not prevail.
Sadly, since the massacre of October 7th, we have seen an alarming increase in the dark forces of anti-Semitism and terror and oppression. Let me say this as clearly as we can. We will not and we cannot allow the darkness to prevail. We will not do it.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, you look at this and truth has been stood on its head. You look at what happened on October 7th, a clear face of evil for the entire world to see, the horrors of it, and then the hostages being taken back to Gaza, being held in tunnels, refusal to return them, refusal to surrender, to lay down their arms, using the entire civilian population of Gaza as human shields, using schools, hospitals, mosques, places of worship, places of assembly for neighborhoods, as protection for rocket launchers, for stockpiles of automatic weapons, all of these things happening before our eyes. And then the international court comes in, the international community comes in, and who do they blame? Well, they blame Israel. It makes no sense. It doesn't compute at all. Why now start calling for a Palestinian state where that Palestinian state, every single one of them is dedicated to the destruction of Israel? You look at that and go, why in the world would you recognize that? That's a terrorist state you're forming. They teach their children to kill Jews. They celebrate people who murder and destroy. That is part of the payments that they make to their so-called martyrs. And it's all done with the approval, the tacit approval of the international community. And now you have overt approval where we will reward you for this and will move Israel aside in order to make room for you. It makes no sense. As Christians, we stand with Israel. We stand for the truth here. What happened on October 7th, we will never forget. Hamas has to absolutely be eliminated. Anyone that shares the ideology, no, we will not join you in the river to the sea chant. No, we know what that means, and I hope everyone gets that message. We stand with Israel.